And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Well, good Friday afternoon.
Yes.
We got an extra special guest with us today.
We do. Yes.
Thank you.
How you doing, Mary Beth?
Great.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Well, it's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I am.
Okay, good. Are you nervous? Yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it? You know, I think, Lisa, it took a little while for us to start getting used to it, you know?
It did.
I mean, I'm used to being here in the multipurpose room with a crowded auditorium. And so now we're sitting here and
You look out and there's...
at best, we talk to one or two or three people out there, right?
Right.
So,
Yep.
and then everybody else is just kind of watching from their TVs.
Exactly.
So,
And you've seen our show, so I could see why you'd be nervous. Sometimes.
I think any time you're getting in front of a group,
yeah.
you're a little
Yeah.
nervous.
And, you know, they usually tell you when you're talking in front of a group, you're supposed to picture everybody in the audience in their underwear, right? Well, that's kind of hard to do because there's nobody out there.
Right.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Well, before we get started,
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh,
I think Mary Beth's going to help me.
come on, Mary Beth.
Okay.
Don't hurt your wrist.
Look at
Oh,
that.
there you go.
Thank you.
Good job. All right. I think today we probably are not in too much risk of going over today, right?
Probably not.
Probably
I think
not.
we're good today.
Yeah.
It's a Friday.
Unless Mary Beth really has a whole lot more that
She might.
to participate with that I am not anticipating. So,
You never know.
yes,
I have my list.
That's good. We have our list too, so
we
keeps
do.
us on track.
We have a list.
Yes.
We do. Well, that was a pretty cool photo, wasn't it?
Oh, they were great photos.
I love that.
That was neat.
And there's more than just those three, right?
There is.
Yeah,
there
so
is.
we're hoping that we can maybe show another couple of those
Right.
next time around.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Mary Beth, I think you said you liked the one in the middle about the garden, right?
Yes.
The garden. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that explains a lot of my house. I've got all these big holes around my house in the yard, and I was wondering what the heck was going on. So
Now you know.
now I know.
My daughter has been making that kind of remark.
Oh, really?
Well, her boys are 12 and almost 15.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. All that pent-up energy is not good, is it?
She says when she's had enough, they have 10 acres.
Yeah.
When she's had enough, she tells them, go run around the perimeter.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good punishment right
That is
there.
good. That works well. That works
Wow.
well. So, Lisa, do we have a trivia question today?
We do, yes. And we have, it's from John Hoyt.
Yes.
Thank you, John. And we have a special prize that we've not done yet so far.
Okay, we've not done this one before.
We have some new river landing hats that we got in the other day.
Okay.
So that's the prize today.
All right.
So it's the adjustable kind, so it fits most heads, is what I've been told.
It fits most heads.
Most heads,
Yes.
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 So that's the prize today. Okay, the question is, the nene is the official bird of what state? The nene, and in case I'm saying it wrong, it's N-E-N-E, is the official bird of what state? Okay, the line is open.
I always thought it was Nini.
We could So when you call in, tell us the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, it's probably Nene, because I'm usually wrong when it comes
I don't
to
know.
pronunciation.
It's the dance is nene, so we think nene, but okay, it's N-E-N-E. So help us with that. The nene is the official bird of what state? And the line is 336-389-4103. Also tell us the pronunciation.
And it could be Neen
Well, it could be.
or Nain. You know,
could
maybe
be.
it's not two syllables. You know, I
You're
don't know.
right. You're right. So I'm not
With it
sure.
being Hawaiian, I would think it's 2 syllables.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There might have been a little
Oh.
foreshadowing as to our answer right there.
It could be. It could be. Michelle has run out of the room.
Yes.
So
Yeah, we're expecting
somebody,
good news.
somebody probably got it pretty quick here, but we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll find out very quickly here
Yes,
if we have a
yes.
winner. But a neat hat to the winner.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's usually our time to kind of go over the state statistics again. Wow. Since Wednesday, and I know Brian did the update yesterday, but I didn't have the sheet, so I'm doing
Right.
this, comparing it to what I did on Wednesday. But
Right.
since Wednesday, just in 2 days, 32,884 tests were done. That's 16,000 average a day. That's amazing. So as a total for the state, we're up to 482,147 completed tests. So we really we're flying on the number of tests. Now, since Wednesday, we have had, like I just said, 32,884 tests. Of that, 2,478 were positive. So that's 4.5%. So that's the lowest we probably have seen it in a long while. And that means that we have 33,255 laboratory confirmed positive cases, which if you do that as a total of the 482,000 tests, is about 6.9%. And lately we've been running right around that 6.8 to 7%. Whereas before we were up at 8%, but as we're doing more tests, I think we're seeing that come down.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have had 27 more deaths since Wednesday. We're at 966. And our hospitalizations went up a little bit as well. We're up 33. We're at 717 as of today. And then the individual counties, let's see. Mecklenburg is our largest. They crusted over the 5,000 mark as far as positive cases. They're at 5,057. They had 387 additional positive cases since Wednesday. Next is Wake, and they went up over 2,000 cases at Wake. Wake County, that is, 173 since Wednesday. Durham is at 1,877. That's 103 more than Wednesday. Forsyth is at 1,660. That's 174 since Wednesday. And Guilford's at 1,508, which is 126 more than it was on Wednesday. And then I added Wayne County. I decided that I'm just going to do anything that's over 1,000. Wayne County went up 52 from what I said on Wednesday, and they're at 1,240. So that's the counties. And then when we look at nursing homes and residential care facilities, we've had 4,360 positive cases out of the 33,255. That's 13%. Actually, that percentage keeps dropping a little bit. And then, unfortunately, we continue to stay at the 60% when it comes to deaths. 579 of the 966 have come from nursing homes and residential communities at 60%. And we are up to 145 nursing homes and residential care communities that have had an outbreak. And that compares to 137 that we had on Wednesday. So that's 8 more that we had. And we just, we know that nursing homes and retirement communities are susceptible. It's a population that is susceptible, as we know, to getting it. Just a little bit of good news, I think, to be able to share. I don't have any update on and I forgot to ask Kat about any update today on our staff member who tested positive last week. But last we heard that it was mild symptoms and that they were recovering well. So I hope that's still the case. But we did end up having, anytime a facility such as ours, nursing home facility such as ours, has a positive case, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services will come out and do an infection control focus session. And so we had that happen yesterday. They came out yesterday. And I'm really pleased to say that we fared really well. As a matter of fact, the person that was here, who was here for 3 hours, said that she wished her supervisor had been able to come out and see our community and the way we're doing things, and especially obviously in our nursing home section of what we have and how we're doing things, because they were like, you all could be a model for what the rest of the state should be doing. And I thought that was pretty high compliments to Kat and Tony, our healthcare administrator and our director of nursing over in the healthcare center, and our team over there. We're just doing a really good job over there. And so, and I we've talked about this a couple of times now, but the philosophy has changed. Corporately, our philosophy has changed. And really, I think as an industry, our philosophy is changing a little bit. We know now we're not going to prevent it from coming in. The best thing to do is to try and slow that down as much as possible and be smart. But as we get this, and it's the protocols and trying to control it at that point so that we don't have contamination throughout. And so that's our philosophy now is, we know we're going to get some from time to time. There's just not a way to really completely prevent that. But we're hoping that, and I'm getting some feedback here, aren't I?
You're getting a little
pushback here. But,
yep.
but we know that we just need to manage it. And that's really where we are now. Is we're just trying to manage it as opposed to trying to prevent it from coming in completely.
Right.
So, good stuff. And, I'm very proud of our team over in the nursing center. They've done a really good job over there. Okay, so Lisa, the other probably big thing to talk about is the letter that I sent out the other day about the sales tax. We had a lot of phone calls from residents, and so I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today. First of all, thank you to all the residents for jumping in. I've had a lot of residents that have told me they've either tried to call Michael Garrett or if they can't get a hold of him, because I think his voicemail has been full, which is a good sign. They've been sending him emails or drafting letters. But, there's been some questions about the sales tax portion of this. And, there's been a question, is it only on a part of the monthly service fee, or is it on all the monthly service fee? And the reality right now is that there is nothing that's been pulled out of this. So it would be the sales tax at the moment, the way things are, the Department of Revenue for the state would actually tax the entire monthly service fee. So, again, we've got our state association working with us. The state association has also hired a lawyer that's working with us on behalf of the retirement communities. And, I think the other question that we had from residents was, is this benefiting the community or is it benefiting the residents or, what is it? And well, the reality is if there's a tax to be paid, if we've got to start charging tax on a monthly service fee, we have to put that on the bill, and then we'd have to remit that to the state. So we don't want that. You don't want that. We don't want that. So, the more residents that we can have that can reach out to Michael Garrett or to help us with this and just being able to fight back on this, it's really important that we do that. And then I think there was some question about, that was a lot of it, was the service fee part of it. And, I think people were starting to ask me questions, well, what about like the housekeeping part of that,
right.
Or the dining part of that, or, the medical part of that. Mm-hmm. Well, right now, it doesn't matter. We have a bundled fee at the moment. So the monthly service fee includes all of that. We don't break that out. And so, the state at this point says the whole thing would be taxable. So our goal here right now, and you heard me at the language I used in the letter was the language that came from our state trade association as to how they're fighting this. And there was some question about, well, what does the pandemic have to do with this? And the pandemic really is just it's another means. I think the timing of all this is really terrible, in my opinion. The Department of Revenue is really trying to hit us while we're down, in my opinion. And so I think the pandemic piece of this is just to say, we're asking them to wait until January 1 of 2022 before they impose this tax. So what would that do for us? Well, that means we'd be able to hopefully get past the pandemic at this point. And then secondly, give us a chance to be able to really form a solid defense against this so that we could stop this. I mean, that's the goal, is to stop this. As a matter of fact, I asked about this. We would be the first state in the Southeast to actually have anything like this, and only the second state in the U.S. that would have a tax like this. So, this is not something that's happening in other states. This is something that's been targeted right here in North Carolina. So we really could use everybody's help with reaching out to Michael Garrett, and we gave you 3 ways to be able to do that on the letter. So please take advantage of that. I even had one resident that's offered to talk to Tom Tillis' office, and I'm like, hey, if you think Tom Tillis can help us, I'm all for it. Anybody that you can help us with that would be great. So, and there's a couple of different ways to attack this, but right now I think the big thing that we're trying to get is to try and get them to hold off and give us a grace period here until we can really formalize a plan. So I think that's enough said about that, but it does affect every one of our residents here. So, if we can all work together to try and work through this and get this delayed, the better for all of us. Okay,
so we have a couple of questions today.
Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was just thinking about my conversations with a couple of the residents over the phone the last day or two, and a couple of residents mentioned this to me, and I thought this was if you actually get a chance to talk to Michael Garrett or put this somewhere, the other thing is we know a lot of seniors move to North Carolina because of the climate here, because of our situation here. We got a lot of great retirement communities. We get a lot of people that move into our state, and attacks like this could prevent people from moving into our state, which is going to decrease the tax base altogether and keep people from moving in, and so that's not going to be good for our state either. So if you can weave that into any kind of argument that you have or any kind of conversation you have, that would be great too. So I didn't want to forget that.
No, that's great. Okay, so questions.
Okay, questions.
Okay. And this, just want to make sure before I say the questions, this is related to independent residents.
Yes.
We do have healthcare residents that watch us, and we thank you for watching. But sometimes it isn't always clear of what area it affects because there's different restrictions and different levels of care here. So
and
these
Lisa,
questions...
let's just say, go a little further with that.
Sure.
It's the governor's office that really... working with the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services,
right.
They're the ones kind of dictating all this.
Absolutely.
So a lot of times when we're talking about restrictions, we know the governor has said that for nursing home portions of our operation,
right.
even through phase 3, there's not going to be any planned changes at this point. So
right.
even though we're talking about some things here now, this is really for the independent living residents, and I apologize to our healthcare residents, but that's really out of our control.
Yep. Okay, so the first one, can we go visit our family outside of River Landing as long as we keep our social distance and visit maybe on a patio or an outdoor area? Tell us what's okay to do. So that's a great question.
It is, because we know residents are already doing that.
We do.
They come back, they tell us they're exercising their vehicles, and we see Target bags in the back seat of the car. So we know that residents are going out and doing things. We know that you're probably seeing family members out there.
Right.
All we ask, 2 things, I think, or 3 things. If you're visiting family members, stay outside and visit them. Don't go in their homes if you can help it. I mean, that would be really good if you could do that.
Sure.
And really the big thing is remember the 3 W's that we have. Wear your mask, wait or keep the 6-foot social distancing, and wash your hands. Keep sanitizer in your car. Keep wipes in your car.
Right.
If you have to go in somewhere, if you're getting gas, if you're traveling for a couple hours and you have to get gas and you have to stop at a gas station and go to the bathroom,
sure.
Have these things in your car so that you can wipe your hands down really good when you get back in, and wear your mask when you're going out into the public anywhere. These are the things that will protect you, and ultimately, if they protect you, they protect the community as well.
Right.
Yep, correct.
So we're just asking you, we've educated you enough on the 3 W's. Now just use those and be smart when you're outside of the River Landing campus and on the River Landing campus for that matter too.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, next one. This has always been kind of a challenging one, Tom.
Yeah.
We've addressed a few times, but it's just not black and white. So this is always a hard one. How can I avoid being quarantined if and when I go on a vacation?
Well, that's an easy one, Lisa.
Right?
If you don't go, you don't have to be quarantined. That is an easy one.
Well, it is black and white then, isn't it?
In that sense, it is. But if you're going on vacation.
Right. And we know people are. It's getting to be vacation time now.
Yeah, it is.
So we know that's happening. So the biggest thing is, if you're going on a vacation, avoid the crowds. I mean, that's a for sure thing. You don't want to be out anywhere that you're going to be in lots of crowds. And different states have different things open right now.
That's right.
So when I say that, South Carolina, you probably could be at an event.
Right.
Events that we don't allow here yet.
Right.
As a state. So avoid the crowds. That also could mean a wedding.
Right.
I mean, going to a wedding right now that has 100 plus people would not be really a safe option either.
Right.
So avoiding crowds, not going into restaurants.
Yeah.
That's a biggie. I mean, that just really does raise your exposure.
For sit-down service,
For
obviously.
sit-down, for dine-in.
Yeah.
I would avoid that. Here, we're a controlled environment.
Yeah.
Outside of here, it's just the general public that
That's
are
right.
there, not people that we vet in and out every day.
That's right.
So I would avoid the restaurants, do the drive-through or the takeout. You can get some nice dining options with a takeout option. Don't use public transportation. So that's planes, trains, and automobiles. Isn't that a...
That's a movie,
That's a
isn't
movie,
it?
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So-
That's one of my favorite movies of all times, I think.
That's an
So-
oldie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's John Candy.
Yes, yes.
And
Okay.
Steve Martin, I think, is in that one. That's a good movie, yeah.
So not automobiles, but planes, trains, buses, cruise ships. I don't think anybody's going on a cruise ship, but if you're thinking about it, don't do it. Just
Well, you know,
don't do it.
I did hear that there was one cruise line that was actually starting up operation again. I
Okay.
think I read that somewhere.
Don't
so-
do it.
No, don't
You
do
can
it.
guarantee, we can say, this is black and white, right, Tom?
Yeah.
If you take a cruise, it's a quarantine.
If you take a cruise, you're probably going to be quarantined for 28 days, not 14. I think we're just going to have to go the extra step
Okay.
there.
So I think it's safe to say probably no cruises.
Right.
Taxis, so it's that public transportation. If you're leaving here in your own vehicle, staying in your own vehicle the whole way there, whole way back,
Right.
you're pretty safe on that.
Yeah.
So before you go on any kind of trips like that, you're going to talk to Cindy beforehand. So she needs to know your plans for that.
Right.
And then before you come back, or as you come back, you need to reach out to her that I'm back now or I'm heading back the next day. So that way you can talk through, did your plans change from what you told her to begin with?
Yeah.
Because maybe initially you weren't planning to do any crowds and all this stuff, and you got there, and somehow you got yourself into a situation where maybe you were more exposed
Right.
than what was talked about. So you're talking to Cindy before and after any kind of vacations right now. So that's any kind of overnight trip.
Yeah.
That's what we're asking you to do at this point. That way we can help you plan. And we maybe can't say 100% sure before you go that that's not quarantined or that is quarantined. It really depends, because sometimes you get there and your plans change. So
Yeah.
we just need to be reviewing that. And it's for the safety of you as well as your neighbors here.
Right.
So we take all of that into account. So there's no easy answer of, yes, you're quarantined, no, you're not. It just depends.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that we send the right message here. We're not telling you not to go on vacation.
No.
You know, I know that, you know, a lot of families take beach trips and stuff like
Absolutely.
that during this
Yes.
time of the year.
Yes.
And, you know, we want you to be able to go on those kinds of things, but you need to be smart.
Yes.
You need to be able to, and you need to screen your family members a little bit too. And,
Absolutely.
Because, you know, again, it's your health that you're protecting first.
Right.
And then it's the health of everybody else here at River
Right,
Landing.
right.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, we want you to go on vacation. And, you know, the nice thing about calling Cindy up front is if you know some definite plans that you have, you can go over with her and she can tell you,
Right.
you know, I think that's a little risky and you might want to think twice about it. Or
Sure.
maybe this is a way you can minimize that a little bit if you end up doing
Absolutely.
this. I mean, so it's a help. It's not meant as a, you know, somebody that's going to judge you and try and keep you from going. It's really
Right,
trying to help
right.
you as you
Yep.
plan your vacation. So.
And of course, doing the 3 W's when you're on vacation. Don't change any of that. You want to still plan on wearing your mask, the social distancing, and washing your hands. That doesn't change just by leaving here.
Right.
Just keep doing the same thing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
We're
that
to
was
the
good.
best part now.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Mary, I've seen Mary Beth. She's looked like she's been watching a tennis match. I don't know if you've been watching it. She's like back and forth like this. And I kind of felt like bad for her. You know, we probably should have just put her at an end, Lisa, instead of putting her in the middle. So anyway, well, Mary Beth, my goodness, how long have you and Bill been here now?
Since October of 2012.
2012, so it's coming up on
Wow.
8 years. That's awesome.
It's amazing.
And how long have you been running the gift shop?
About 5 years.
About 5 years.
Wow.
that's a lot longer than I thought it was even. So
And didn't you commit to 1 year? So what happened?
Nobody has stepped forward to take it over from me.
Okay, that's what happened.
well, the gift shop has been such a crucial a part of
It
River
has.
Landing, and thank you so much for
Thank you.
the great job that you and all your volunteers do. I mean, it's quite a few volunteers that you have that's with
Yes.
the store, right?
We've got 19
Wow.
volunteers that actually work in the shop.
Okay.
We've got 2 volunteers that go in and work on the cards to keep them looking nice and pretty.
Wow.
And then we've got 5 volunteers that handle the money and the billing and all that kind of stuff.
That's
so
great.
It's a pretty good sized group of
I
people.
was just going to say, that's quite a little operation you have there. Yeah. I might have to hire you after you're done with the gift shop to run one of our departments or something, if you got that kind of experience. So
Thank you.
that's awesome. So thanks for what you're doing. I know before the pandemic, we were doing a lot of really creative things in the gift shop, and my favorite was was it the 10% discount day, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there and I found a comb that was hiding in there, and I bought this comb and I brought it up to the front register, and I forgot who it was that was at the front register, and they looked at me and they said, "Where did you find that? I didn't even know there was a comb in here." And I said, "Well, I combed the entire area and found it." So I know that was bad. I'm sorry. But please tell us, we got some exciting news to be able to
We do
share.
have some exciting news to share. We are going to do a limited reopening.
Woohoo! Limited
it.
reopening. I love it. So tell us what limited means.
It means that we will only allow 2 people in the shop at a time.
Okay. Makes sense.
They will have to wear their masks,
Sure.
and they will have to use the hand sanitizer that's right outside the
Beautiful.
door. If we have overflow,
Yep.
they can wait in the living room,
Okay.
practicing social distancing.
Sure.
And then as they see the first person leave, then they can come in.
Awesome.
We're also going to continue with the virtual gift shop for cards, candy, and sundries.
Okay.
There are some people who are still a little bit leery of
Yeah.
leaving their apartment,
Yeah.
and they've contacted me to ask if that will continue going on. And I talked it over with Barb Gustafson, who has been a wonderful, wonderful help to me during this.
Thank
She
you,
and
Barb.
Destiny Bach deserve a huge thank you
Yeah.
from everybody,
Yeah.
especially from me. But everybody needs to be saying thank you to those ladies, because they've gone above and beyond to make sure that people were able to get things that they needed.
That's awesome.
And I really do appreciate their help with that.
Mary Beth, how about the hours? Will the hours be the
The
same
hours
as they were?
will be 11 to 1, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, 11
We
to
will
1.
not do the extended hours. We're
Okay.
just going to do
So
it
to start, we're
across.
going to go back to 11 to 1.
Yeah.
That's great. That's 2 hours every day.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I do have a request to make.
Okay.
For those people who are going to use the virtual gift shop, please
Yeah.
only call between 10 and 3.
Okay. Yeah, that would be nice to limit the virtual gift shop from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
Monday
correct?
through Friday.
Yeah, that's great.
And how do they call that virtual gift shop?
They can call, there are 3 numbers they can call. They can call my number,
Okay.
they can call Barb Gustafson's number, or they can call Destiny's number.
Okay, great.
And usually one of the 3 of us is available to help them out. I mean, I would think it would be very unusual for all 3 of us to be out at the same time.
Sure.
That's true.
So, but don't call the trivia hotline, right? That's
I don't think that's going to help, no.
Michelle just ran out of the room. I don't know why.
I assume
do
you
have
got a winner though, right?
We do have a winner, by the way, so
Okay, yeah. So
we
if
don't
you're
need to call anymore.
right. Nee on the calls, okay?
Oh,
I'm sorry, that's nay on the calls.
So I would like to take this opportunity, if I could,
Yes.
to let the new people who have not had an opportunity to come in to the gift shop,
Yes.
to let them know that they are allowed to come.
Yes, they are.
And if any of them would like to become volunteers in the gift shop, I would be thrilled to
Looking
do
to expand, huh?
their training and let them be a part of this.
So,
Great.
so 25 residents under your control is just not enough for you, Mary Beth. You were always looking to
Need
add more.
more.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I have to explain that because of the nature of our volunteers,
Yes.
we're always losing some
Right.
as fast as we're gaining new
Okay.
ones.
So you like to have a pipeline in
Yes.
place, is what you're
Yes.
saying, to be able to help you
And,
with that.
and people to fill in, because sometimes there's doctor appointments and
Yes,
things like
yes.
that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Or
right.
people are going on vacation.
absolutely.
Or they're at lunch. Oh, no, never mind. That's
Well, Tom, with our dining plan now, it's 11 to 7, so I
good point.
think
There's not an excuse. You
you
can't.
could work
I'm
around-
sorry for you volunteers that work in the gift shop. That won't work anymore. So.
And Mary Beth, can I pay with cash, or is it all charged
No,
now?
it will only be in-house charges.
In-house charges, so that's contactless in a lot of ways,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we're only going to allow residents in for now, right? No,
Just
no staff
residents for
members
now.
coming in
If
at the moment.
staff members need something from the gift shop, they can contact me,
Contact you directly.
Yeah.
and I will deal one-on-one
So if
with
I need
them.
another comb, I need to just call you.
Just call
directly.
Mary
right.
Beth.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Some of us are missing our jewelry,
Are you?
our jewelry purchases. So it's been several months now.
Well, we have some new things in
See?
there.
I might have to get a resident to go buy it for me. I can get around this.
Lisa,
I
that
can
is
fig-
not
I
the
can
correct
figure this out.
answer here.
Well, I did say I would work with the staff members one-on-one, so.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mary Beth, thank you so much. I'm really excited. I think
I
we're
am
all very
too.
excited that,
Yes.
again, just another piece of our community that's starting to kind of come back open. And,
Absolutely.
And it, the more and more we open up, the more and more restrictions we kind of soften, the more it feels a little bit more like the home that we used to remember it
Absolutely.
as. So,
Yes.
so thank you for all of the wonderful efforts that you do on the
Thank
gift
you.
shop.
And we're trying to make this where everybody can have an opportunity. So
That's great. That's great.
we're with the virtual gift shop and the actual,
You've got
limited
you
opening
got your
work.
bases covered that way.
yeah.
Don't you? That's
So I
great.
hope that allows everybody to have some way to get things they need from the gift shop.
That's awesome. That'll be very, very helpful, I know, for a lot of residents. So, well, thanks again, Mary
You're
Beth. Thanks for
welcome.
being a star on our show.
And so you can tell people now, it's not scary to be a guest up here.
No, it's
right?
not really.
It's not bad.
It's not
You
bad.
kind of get used to it, don't you?
Yeah.
And, that's because there's nobody throwing tomatoes at you or, anything. I mean, that's the one part I really do like about
Nobody
this.
making faces at you.
Yeah.
Well, they could be at home.
They
Well,
could.
We don't
Yeah,
see it.
but you don't see them.
I don't see it. So it's okay.
Well, I don't know how many of the housekeepers have had to clean off television sets in some of their...
That's true. I don't know. Some days.
You wonder, don't you?
Yep.
No, actually, I don't. I try not to wonder about that kind of stuff.
We'd just rather not know.
We'd rather not know.
That's right.
Oh.
All right, Lisa, how about
Okay.
birthdays today?
Birthdays. Today, Chuck Wood.
Chuck Wood
Yes.
and the horse,
And Chuck Wood, the one with the yellow horse.
the yellow horse,
Yes,
right? The yellow
yes.
horse.
Yes. So happy birthday, Chuck. And
I wonder how old the horse is. We
don't
know how old
know.
Chuck is, but I wonder how old his horse is.
I don't know how old he is.
Maybe we'll find out and let you all know at some
Maybe.
point in the future. Now,
And-
how about this weekend,
Okay.
Lisa?
Saturday, we have Earl Hart
Ah,
and Marjorie Wilkins.
very good.
So
Two
early happy
great
birthday.
folks there.
And Sunday, we have Catherine Langerman and Pat Morgan.
Oh, great.
Yes, so
Happy
happy
birthday to
you.
all of those folks.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, now we're to the burning answer to the crazy question.
The nee
The
nay
nee or nay nay.
nee. The-
And nobody told us which is which. Like, we don't know what's really right. But the question was, the nene or the nene is the official bird of what state? And I don't know if you all heard Mary Beth, but she kind of alluded to.
Yes, she did.
It is Hawaii.
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 Surprise.
Answer. Surprise. So we have a winner who is very familiar with us and has won before.
Okay.
Patricia Sajovic.
Oh, Miss Sajovic.
Yes.
Okay, very
So
good.
congratulations. She's stuck at home watching us on TV.
Stuck at home. Well, it's just too hot out there to do anything else but watch us, right?
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So that was good, and Brian will be delivering you the hat. And since it's not an item that he can distribute differently, you'll actually get the whole hat, I think. I don't think he can hide part of this, or he can't use part of it. So I think you're safe.
Well, you never know. It could be a hat that doesn't have River Landing on it by the time it gets there.
That's true.
He could switch out the hats completely.
He could switch it out.
Why don't you show the hat one more time just to make sure that, we're all quality control here.
So, Patricia, look at this good.
Yeah, so that's the hat you should be getting from Brian.
And it's brand new. It has no marks on it or anything. So it's brand new, and it's still formed like this. So it should come to you looking like this. If it comes like this, someone's used it. But like this, we're good. Okay? Okay.
And he shouldn't be wearing it when he comes up.
He should not be wearing it.
Yeah, Brian, don't wear the hat, okay?
He should not be wearing it.
Speaking of Brian, we should point out what a great job him and Destiny did.
They did super.
With River Landing American Idol.
Yep.
And congratulations to our winners, the Regans. That was great to see them yesterday.
Yes. Yep.
Miss Hall I heard it's very close. I heard the race was very close.
Tons of votes, hundreds of votes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Lisa, we were, right before the show, we talked about what we're going to be doing next week, right?
Yes. Yes, we sure did.
In that 2 minutes of filler time before we started the show, we said, you know what, we haven't come up with what we're doing next week yet. But we know Ken will be here next week. At least that's the plan at this point. And we're going to be doing the Honeymooners next week. And Homer's going to have a piece of one of the shows, whether it be by himself or with us. We haven't decided that yet.
Right.
We are hoping to invite one of our corporate folks to come in and talk about it's actually a former River Landing employee, is Tiffany Robertson. We're hoping that she's going to be able to come next week to be able to be on a show. And she's been kind of overseeing a lot of our quarantine stuff, a lot of our COVID-19 testing. She is kind of the go-to person in our corporate office for all of our communities. And so I thought it might be interesting to have her on the show. So we're going to see if we can get her. We're not promising that because we don't know for sure, but we're going to see if we can get her next week. And then we have as I put it on here, a resident to be named later. We haven't figured out what that resident is yet. It'll be a surprise to us as well as you all.
So if you have a burning desire.
You've been down this road before, Lisa. Nobody ever wants to be on this show.
I know they don't, but I don't get that. So I'm going to try it again. If you have a burning desire, you want to be a guest speaker, or just a guest. I mean, you don't have to say a whole lot. I mean,
you can sit here and do the tennis match like Mary Beth was doing.
I mean, just come on in and be part of the show. Call me or email me and say, Lisa, I'll take that spot.
Okay. So we'll be reaching out to a resident who hasn't been named yet at this point.
Too.
What's that?
It might be a surprise to them.
It might be a surprise to them, too.
I'm sure it will be.
Okay. So, Lisa, we got a joke for the day, right?
Yes.
And who was this joke from?
Max Vibert.
Max.
He brings some of the best
He really
jokes.
is very good with this stuff.
Yes, and he looks for them for us.
So I only heard part of this. I didn't actually read this. So
it cracked me up.
I'm going to be going along with this just as you all are.
Okay.
So this says, a young ventriloquist is touring the clubs, and one night he's doing a show in a small town in Arizona. With his dummy on his knee, he starts going through his usual dumb blonde jokes. Uh-oh. Suddenly, a blonde woman in the fourth row stands on her chair and starts shouting, "I've heard enough of your stupid blonde jokes. What makes you think you can stereotype women that way? What does the color of a person's hair have to do with her worth as a human being? It's guys like you who keep women like me from being respected at work and in the community and from reaching our full potential as a person, because you and your kind continue to perpetuate discrimination not only of blondes but women in general, and all in the name of humor." The embarrassed ventriloquist begins to apologize, and the blonde yells, "You stay out of this, mister. I'm talking to that little guy on your knee."
It cracks me up.
I apologize to all of our residents who are blondes at this point.
Oh, that was
I would say nay on that one. We should never have done that one. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our show. Again, we want to say thank you to Mary Beth for being here today. I'm sure Bill's taping the show so that you can watch it later tonight.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. I'm sure he's recording it. And, you know, we just want to also say thank you to Michelle Jones, who not only is our person that answers for the trivia questions, but she has been the one that's been putting our shows up on the YouTube. And so we appreciate that the time and effort she does to be able to do that. And we want to thank our resident, Bob Bell.
Yes.
Because Bob has been systematically recording our shows.
Every one of them.
Every one he's recorded.
He's been that dedicated.
So we've been very thankful to him for recording that. And we don't want to forget Brian.
Right. It couldn't happen without him.
We couldn't happen without Brian. Brian is our, are you our videographer? Is that what we call you, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay, videographer. And Michelle is usually our manager sometimes.
That's
So,
right.
you know, just like the Regans had manager, had Scooter as their manager,
Scooter.
we have to have our own manager here. So
We don't have a tour bus, though.
we do. No,
We're on our own.
Yeah, we are. And we haven't been asked to go anywhere else.
We haven't.
Well,
No.
I've been told where to go sometimes, but I have not been asked to go anywhere.
Yep.
So we hope you have enjoyed this week. We hope you've enjoyed our show today. Stay cool, stay safe, remember the 3 W's, and we just want you to know how much we love you. Have a great weekend.